Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the White River Knives Ursus 45 in MAGNACUT and see if it lives up to the hype. Let's get into it. Before we do that though, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Like, share, and comment. Helps promote the channel and the algorithms, and it would really help out what I do here every single day. YouTube's been being YouTube, and they're unsubscribing people left and right. So do me a favor and subscribe, or double check to see if you're subscribed. Thank you. Again, Ursus 45, MAGNACUT. This is the only knife I own in MAGNACUT. This thing is pretty awesome. I paid about $250, maybe a little bit north of that, on the White River Knives website, made up in Michigan. Yep, it has 229 on it. You can kind of see the blade. I will run in the specs later in the video. If you want to skip ahead and see that and come back, go ahead. Beautiful 4+ inch blade. You have micarta burlap, micarta handle scales. Looks like you have hex keys in there that hold the handle scales in. Very good construction. There is a little bit of, I wouldn't say mismatch, but with micarta, especially hot and cold, they can kind of shift a little bit. I can probably go in there and fix that. You do have a lanyard loop, full tank construction. This thing is absolutely bomb-proof. A lot of people say this is the king of bushcraft knives. I guess we'll find that out today. Let me throw on some gloves and let's hop into the review. We are back in the man cave. Here's a better look at that sheath. Beautiful Kydex construction. Typically, I'm a fan of leather sheaths, but this one they did extremely well. It doesn't feel chintzy, doesn't feel poorly made, let's call it. Again, this is a premium knife. Not many people are going to spend $250, $300 on knives. This is something like you're going to give to your grandkids. They have a pretty good warranty. I'll show you the box and the specs in a second, but I think the warranty info online said as long as you don't give it to a badger and they destroy it, you're good to go. So you could, I mean, this thing could get hit with nuclear fallout and you could return it for a full refund. Any repair or replacement they will do. Beautiful thing though. Let's take a look at the fire steel. It's got a little loop in there, which you can take off, by the way, so that's pretty neat little thing. 90 degree spine. There we go. So did it 3 different times for you. It's going to take a little breaking in, but overall not too terrible. Now, it comes in this awesome little pine box, almost like you're burying the thing. I hope you wouldn't. Made in USA, guaranteed for life. Pretty cool. Definitely. I mean, they throw this in there. Awesome. And then when you open it up, if you're like, hey, what's the Rockwell on my knife? I don't feel like searching the interwebs for it. It has a spec sheet. So the Ursus 45. It has a 4.5 inch blade, 9.5 inch overall length. It tells you right there. Awesome. This one is in MAGNACUT. They offer them in S35VN, and I think there might be a couple other offerings from time to time, like DLT Trading will get cool runs and whatnot. Sheath is Kydex, like I said. Now the Rockwell on this guy is 62 to 64, which is pretty awesome. I was worried about it being brittle, but as you can tell, I mean, there's absolutely no damage to the edge. I'm actually going to grab a piece of paper here in a second and we will double check that. But yeah, handle is made out of micarta, and then it has all the information. Always clean and oil your knife, and if you're not 100% satisfied, send it back. Let's grab a piece of paper real quick and see how the edge is held up just with a little bit of chopping. Hey guys, real quick, I did not mention this in the video, so I'm going to jump or come back to you from the future and input this now. So I did not mention what kind of grind this has. From what I can find online, it's a full flat. It doesn't kind of look like a full flat, but it's got like that transition edge right there. Drop point style blade, MAGNACUT. Rockwell or HRC is at 62 to 64, which is pretty cool. We did not see any chipping like we did in the White River Knives 3V fixed blade. So pretty cool stuff. Watch the rest of the video. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. Have a great day. I am curious to see with this knife, because of the burlap, there's no jimping. It's a very bare bones, simple knife. We'll go over the sheath here in a little bit too, but just was able to deploy that one-handed. Got my gloves on, some mechanics, and we're just gonna go to work and see how it does. Paracord like butter, no problems whatsoever. Do a double loop, boom. Real simple. Gonna do some hemp rope now. Little bit of pressure, but it bites into there good and cuts off a significant chunk. That one was way easier. I think it's all about getting the angle of the dangle really That's what it comes down to. Let's see if we can't do a double loop. Boom. Hardly any pressure needed. Awesome. Let's do some cardboard real quick. So Christmas just ended, so I've got plenty of cardboard lying around. Beautiful, beautiful. As you can see there, we're just slicing right through it. If I can get a grip on this stuff, let's see how it pierces, because it does have that beautiful, almost clip point, but not quite, more of a spear point. What in the world is going on here? We're back. Laying that cardboard, just kind of have to get it right on there, and no issues whatsoever. Let's see how this knife does at chopping. I have a rather large chunk of wood, so we're going to take the knife and see if we can't chop through this guy. It's biting in there pretty good. And I tell you what, even though it is pretty slick, I'm not noticing the knife wanting to come out of my hands with all that force being put on it. Boom. Real quick and easy, we got through a massive chunk of wood. Let's do a spear point now and see how she does. Before we do that though, I kind of want to show off this sheath. So you have a beautiful Kydex sheath. Drainage hole in there. It is ambidextrous. I have mine set up for left-hand compatibility, and has a beautiful rubberized dangler. Attaches on the back there. Nothing too fancy. And you have a holder for your fire starter, which is pretty cool. Let me show you the one-handed deployment. It is brand new, so it's going to take a little getting used to, but yeah, overall not too bad. It sits on the belt. I typically wear mine a little bit to the rear, especially when I'm hiking. That seems to be the best, and no issues yet. This piece of wood's a little bit rotten, or it's rotted a little bit. So I'm just gonna use this beautiful, I'm just resting my thumb up there on the top of the blade on that 90-degree spine, not feeling any hot spots. And it is just absolutely filleting that. Look at that. Can't get us a little feather stick going on the side of it. And for being a fairly wide blade, I believe it's 1/8 of an inch or thicker. I'll have to double check my spec sheet. But man, we are just filleting the absolute crap out of that. Look at that. And in a matter of seconds, literally seconds, you have a tent peg, or if you want to turn this into a charcoal pencil, you can do that. Awesome. Let's head inside and look at the specs. I'm going to try and see if it cuts paper. Now for $250, I want the thing built of slice paper right out of the box, and get a little hung up there in the middle. Let me verify. Might just have been a crank in the paper. But yeah, not bad. The reason I am curious to check if it does after just a little bit of chopping, the competitive option we're going to run in, the edge folding almost immediately. It's another Michigan company. We'll run into that. Pricing on this guy, between $250 and I think like $400, depending on like what options you get. I mean, they probably sprinkle like fairy dust or something on there. It's probably why it costs so much. Do you need MAGNACUT? I think honestly, if you had, I'm not going to say 1095 is near this level. 3V I'm really satisfied with, but any of these super steels, they're going to hold their edge forever almost. You are going to have to resharpen them, and they're going to take substantially more work. But yeah, this one seems to be holding up well. I'm a fan of it. If you don't have calluses on your hands, that bird beak, when I was chopping, I could see where it might give you a hot spot, but for me, it wasn't an issue. Might be for some people, so check your mileage on that. But yeah, not too bad. Beautiful, not really like a satin, I guess it is a satin kind of stone-washed finish, not extremely bright and shiny. But yeah, let's run in a competitive option and then give you guys the outro. So the only thing I have in the size range for relatively the same price, like the same premier style quality, is going to be the Bark River knives. Not White River, Bark River. I wonder if there's some relation there. Maybe somebody had a falling out with another person. But yeah, this guy, $250, $300, depending on where you can find them. I think I paid like $260 with shipping. And the Bark River, again, similar construction. I believe this guy has a 5-inch blade compared to the 4.5. convex edge. I need to check and see. I believe it's a high saber grind on there, but I will double check for you guys and I'll let you know. You have this smooth black micarta holding up well. Instead of having the handle scales that you can remove and service yourself, you just have a couple of silver pins holding the handle in. The edge on this right here, before you get to the transition point, folded after like very little chopping. Pay $200 for this guy on DLT Trading. Not a bad knife. I still am pretty satisfied. I could have hit a rock or something, so I don't know if it's 100% the knife's fault, but that's kind of odd. Let me know if any of you guys who've used Bark River encountered the same thing. Beautiful leather sheath, though. I'm a big fan of this. When it comes to these, I think, honestly, if I am going to be beating the heck out of my gear and going on cross-country road trips like I did last summer, I'm probably going to carry something like this, just a little bit more bomb-proof, especially in the rain. Kydex is better. This one has a drainage hole. This one doesn't. I mean, between $50, $60 of each other, similar quality. If anything, I think the handle was done better on the Bark River. Hate to say it, but yeah, this one, it's not sloppy, but there is like where it doesn't line up exactly, and that might be an issue for some people. I don't care. It gives the knife character. Is it the king of bushcraft or survival knives? I don't know. I think it has the potential to be. I need to do some more use with it. Right now, my king of bushcraft knives is the BPS Knives Adventure. For 40 bucks, you can't beat it. Should you be able to justify spending $300 on a survival knife? I don't know. If you have the means, go for it. I think just stick with S35VN. I mean, I never had a knife in MAGNACUT before, so I said, you know what, I'm going to splurge. I decided to get it. I am satisfied. I would definitely recommend this knife. Is it for everyone? No. You don't need to spend $250 to get a great knife, but for what it is a very premium, excellent knife. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.